With Visible Thread Docs, you can automate much of the contract and bid review process, helping you save time and money while also increasing your efficiency and accuracy. I'm going to show you a few of the ways VT Docs can help speed up your review process. First off, VT Docs can analyze a contract and create a responsibility matrix in just a few clicks. This is particularly useful post-contract award. So I've selected a contract award file here on the left, and I'll click down here to generate responsibility matrix. On this screen, we can see our contract kickoff dictionary, which contains a number of terms and categories that we'll identify within our document. Words like pricing, prices, and discount will relate back to the pricing team, whereas words like personnel, assigned, and security clearance will relate back to staffing. Now, to create my responsibility matrix, all I need to do is click here on this link, click Generate Matrix again, and I'll get my Excel sheet downloaded directly to my local drive. Now, when I open up this file, we get the full text of the document here shredded out in column E, with each sentence on its own Excel cell. We also will highlight any hits from our dictionary here in red and indicate the category to which they belong over here on the right. So if I scroll down to where we get into some actual responsibilities, we can start to see that there are a number of hits that relate back to different categories. This one is flagged for program management, these two for sales. If I scroll down, we see one down here for contract setup and for staffing. Now we can easily distribute work among different departments or teams, which would normally be a very laborious and time-consuming process if done manually, but through the use of the responsibility matrix and the contract kickoff dictionary, we've automated that entire process. Keep in mind that you can fully customize this or any other dictionary within Visible Thread. Now, if we want to search the same doc for a different set of terms, all we need to do is go up here and switch the dictionary. So let's say I want to look for all of the FAR clauses within my document. I'll select my FAR clause extractor there, I'll hit Set Dictionary, and now it's going to rescan my document to identify any of the over 900 FAR clauses we have pre-programmed into this FAR clause extractor dictionary. Now we can shred this doc again by a slightly different method. We can select all of our hits here by clicking this top header box and go over here to Export Bottom Grid to Excel. We'll export all content, which will again give us a full shred of the document with any hits from our dictionary highlighted in red. Now when I open up this file, we again get the full text of our document shredded out into Excel sentence by sentence. But now you'll see that all of the FAR clauses are actually highlighted here in red, and we give you the description or definition for each FAR clause over here in the rightmost column. Now, it's important to note that we're not just limited to analyzing one document at a time. By selecting a folder up here and going to the Concept Tracking tab, we can look for a common set of keywords across multiple documents at once. This can help you automate a variety of language compliance scans. For example, here we can look for terms that relate back to legal compliance and potential risk. Phrases like conflict of interest, cost reimbursement, and liquidated damages could all potentially be risky, and we may want to gain further insight into how these are being discussed within our documents. Over here to the right, you see a scorecard view that indicates the number of hits for each given term or phrase within each of our documents. Now, if I want to select the hits here to review my risky terms, I can select conflict of interest, cost reimbursement, and liquidated damages. This will populate in the pane down below with every paragraph from our document where these particular keywords show up, essentially allowing you to automate this sort of legal compliance check. Now, we can also automate an entirely different kind of language compliance check just by using a different dictionary. I'll click up here to set my technical terms dictionary to the folder, and after a quick reanalysis, it's going to identify a new list of keywords and provide me with a new scorecard view over here on the right side. This dictionary will help me find gaps in between my proposal response and my soliciting document or contract. We can start to see down here a few instances of phrases that show up in the RFP that do not show up anywhere in our proposal response. A phrase like configuration management shows up 4 times here, 0 times in our proposal. Performance improvement similarly shows up twice here in our RFP and 0 times in our proposal. These sorts of gaps will indicate a compliance issue with our proposal, and if we select the boxes next to these hits, we can again pull out the relevant document content for our gaps down below so that we can see the context and the actual document content where these factors which we have not addressed in our proposal are showing up within our original soliciting doc. Again, without opening up a single document, we can see exactly where our gaps and compliance issues are, as well as finding the context surrounding them. Visible thread docs can also help you find all the differences between 2 versions of a document, such as a contract or RFP. This automates what can be a very tedious process when done manually. To compare 2 versions of a document, all I need to do is select my folder that contains my documents. Here in this folder you can see I have a draft RFP, and I have the final version of that same document. To generate a report where I can identify any differences between these 2 versions, I just click the Compare Docs Show Changes button here, select my draft, then select my final, and hit Compare. This will generate an Excel spreadsheet that we'll use to find all of the changes between our 2 documents. Here in the Excel spreadsheet, we have the full text of both of our documents. Column B contains the full text of our draft, and column E contains the full text of our final. In column C, we tell you what type of change has occurred between the 2 versions of the document, if any. All identical text here is blue, while any changes are marked out in red. We identify 3 types of changes: modifications, additions, and deletions. Here we see a modification where the contract no longer contains the final sentence in this paragraph. This is a change that affects the scope of the contract as well as affecting compliance. Here we see an addition, a brand new paragraph that's been added to the final version. This did not appear in our draft version. Finally, down here we have a deletion, a section that's been entirely removed from the final version. This paragraph, which appeared in our draft, no longer appears anywhere in the final document. Since this report is just an Excel spreadsheet, it's very easy to sort and filter according to the type of change that you're looking to identify. This report gives you a clear, straightforward comparison between your 2 documents, which can help you save hours during the contract review cycle. Finally, we can automate a readability review of our response document by using the Clear Language feature. We'll select our response doc here, click on the Clear Language tab, and we instantly get an analysis of our document's readability. Across the top of the screen, you see some overall scores for your document as a whole. These metrics reflect the clarity of your writing. Factors like long sentences, passive language, will make your document harder to read regardless of the audience. The readability score here indicates how easy or difficult your document is to read on a scale of 0 to 100. The grade level indicates the level of education that would be necessary for a reader to fully understand your text. Down here we flag individual clear language issues that appear within our document. We look for long sentences, which are highlighted here in blue, hidden verbs, which are in green, long words, which are underlined here, and passive voice, which appears down here in red. Now we can export all of these results out to PDF or to Excel, but if we're working with a Word docx file, we can also download an annotated document, which is essentially an export back out to Word. Now what this annotated document does is it preserves the original document, but we layer in comments wherever we find 1 or more clear language issues. If I scroll down here, you'll see these factors flagged in the review pane here on the right hand side: long sentences, hidden verbs, further down here, passive voice. This annotated doc export is meant to reduce friction during the editing process, and it allows authors and editors to make changes directly within the document itself without having to refer back to other reports, screens, windows, or printouts. So there you have it, just a few of the ways Visible Thread docs can improve your contract and bid review process. For more information, please visit us online at visiblethread.com.